Hi and welcome to All Things Photography, and we have another product review for you here. Some of you may have heard of the company Aputure, that's A-P-U-T-U-R-E. I've reviewed products for them in the past, and one of them was the GigTube viewfinder, and it was a device that allowed you to attach a remote viewing device to your DSLR. I used it on the Canon 5D Mark II. It was tethered via a wire. It wasn't Wi-Fi capable, and it wasn't radio controlled, so you had to tether it to your actual device. But it had a fairly long cable, allowed you to have a viewfinder in your hand, a portable viewfinder, so you can actually stop recording and check out what you're viewing. It was great because in those days, you know, cameras didn't have the flip out screens, and certainly the 5D Mark II didn't. So if I was filming down low, I was able to use that. There is actually a link on this page to that product, so it's pretty good. They actually make some very innovative devices, very handy devices for DSLRs and for filmmaking and photography, so it's worth checking out their site for that. But today they've actually sent me two lighting devices. In fact, they didn't send them today, they sent me a while ago, but I wanted to use them and see how they worked before I actually did the review. Now, I'm actually using them at the moment, so I'm actually being lit by the devices I'm going to be reviewing. So in a minute I'm going to have to switch them off to show you what they actually look like. But one of them, let's go for the smaller one first. This is the Aputure Amaran CRI 95 Plus. Now the 95 relates to the high colour rendering. It's the CRI levels of the actual the LEDs that are actually on here, and that's a very good level. They're a very good device. Very bright lights, and that's this light here, and I've only got on about half power at the moment, so I'm being lit on this side by the Amaran 95 Plus. It's got great colour settings, and it actually matches the skin tone. It's like daylight light LEDs. There's actually 160 small LEDs on there. We're going to come to this more in a minute, but that's this one. It's a smaller device, and you'll see it in a second, and it's actually a very smaller portable device. I'll read it to you quickly. It uses high colour rendering index LEDs, CRI 95RA, stepless brightness control, so you can actually go from very, very dim up to super bright, and like I say, it's on half at the moment. It's actually very bright. Battery power indicator, so you know how much battery power you've got left. Expandable up to 9 LED panels. It's got a panel, a diffuser in front you can take in and out. It's got a 16:9 widescreen design, lower power consumption, and they do last for ages, these LED devices. They last for a long time, eco-friendly and power saving. And it's got the diffusing filter and an orange warming filter, so if you want more warm skin tones, you can actually put that in. We'll have a look in a second. That's the first one, that's the smaller one. And this one is the Amaran Aputure AL-528C. Now this is a much bigger device. You get an LED digital display. Again, you've got 85 rendering LEDs on here, stepless control, 100,000 hours of use, natural light kind of look to it, so you've got that nice, and that's the light here, by the way, and I've got this on almost full power at the moment. It's a much bigger unit and it's slightly further away. Again, 100,000 hours of use, slim design, a universal mount and double power supply, which means it runs from both batteries and via a charging cable. And I've used these in the past. I'm using them now obviously to make this review, but I've actually used them in the past as well. In Lanzarote, I took them out to a job I did out there. It was incredibly sunny, so these weren't perfect for outdoor use. The brightness of the sun in the Canary Islands is incredibly bright, so these cannot compete with that. But when we did use them on the indoor scenario for lots of tutorials and interviews, that sort of thing, they worked perfectly. And the good thing about the Amaran, the AL-528C, is you've got a mixture of the white light and the orange light in, so you can the amber light, so you can actually go from warm to bright. You can actually change the color temperature of the actual lights. It's not the bulbs that are changing. It's actually got half of the bulbs, the LED bulbs, are the bright light, and half of them are the amber light, and you can actually move them. We'll show you that in a second. But they work very well. They're working well now. I may not have them set up perfectly, but they're great. They're very powerful for indoor interviews and for indoor product reviews, things like this. They're great for using if you want to illustrate products that you're showing, like we're doing today. But obviously, to see them properly, I'm going to have to turn the lights off now, and we're going to go to natural light. so you'll see the difference that the lights make. So we'll see you in a second once I've disassembled everything and we'll show the actual units. Okay, so now you can see the lights are now off. We're running on purely on natural light, so you can see the difference between natural light and what the other lights look like when they're on. Obviously adds a new dimension to shots, so definitely worth looking into some sort of additional lighting. Obviously this light's going to fade over time, that's when lighting becomes more important, or additional lighting. So I'm going to talk through the two lights at the moment. This is the AL-H160, it's the smaller of the two lights, and like I said, it comes with a panel on the front, so you can actually take this diffuser off, and underneath you've got 160 small LEDs. Now these are all the same colour temperature. You can't change the colour temperature on here, but you obviously can run it from the larger Sony batteries. But yeah, like I say, the only downside with this one is you can't run it from an AC source, but you can run it from either one of these Sony batteries or one of the batteries that fits, or you can take this off and run it from normal AA batteries. It takes 6 AA batteries, so that's a really handy feature to have. You can run it from either or. Now obviously AA batteries are pretty good. If you get the better quality ones, they're going to last a while. If you've got rechargeables, that's fantastic. But I think the larger batteries, this one here is a battery pack NPQM91D. This is a lithium ion battery pack. I don't think this is a Sony one actually, it's just a standard battery that I got off the internet, and it's the equivalent. It's actually made for Sony, but it's not actually a Sony battery. They're a lot cheaper than the Sony ones, but they work just as well. I used these for the whole week in Lanzarote and they worked extremely well. So like I say, this can either run from AA batteries, 6 of those, or it can run from one of these. Now this is the larger one. This is, like I say, is the 91 version. There are smaller ones. I think it's the 71 and the 51. This is a huge one. This will last for hours and hours and hours. All you need to do is plonk this on the back. Just turn it off, plonk it on the back, slide it into place, and it's now fitted. And you've got a battery level here. When you click this button, it tells you how much of the battery's left. We've got half power at the moment on there. You can also press this button on the back of the unit itself. It will tell you again you've got half battery power there. So they're obviously accurate. They work quite well. And on the other side here, on the bottom part of the device, you've actually got the light there and the adjuster that turns it on and then brightens it. You can see that's pretty bright. Let's turn it off. Turn it around this way. Let's show you how bright this is. If you're susceptible to headaches, then don't watch this bit. But we'll put it on the lowest power. As soon as you click the button, it comes on. So that's on its lowest charge out. And therefore you just turn it up and up and up and up. You can see that's pretty bright. It's going to burn out my face at that distance. It's very bright indeed. And like I say, they run cool, so you're not going to get any burning or any heat from these. It's great for this sort of environment, because if I was to be using normal studio lights, they're just unbearably hot, and that's why people start sweating in studios and things. LEDs, I think, are the way to go. This is a great little unit. It does come with a little adapter here which you can adjust. Goes directly onto the bottom. In fact, let's take it off. It's got your normal hot shoe attachment. So if we take this off, it's got one on the bottom, one on the side there, and one on the top. So you can actually have it in portrait mode as well, which is pretty cool. So this actually tilts and swivels as well. So once you've undone it, once it's on a tripod stand, sorry, on a light stand, you can tilt it backwards and forwards as well. So it's pretty handy, bit versatile, comes with the unit, but you don't get a battery with it. So if you wanted to buy one of these lithium ion batteries, then you're going to have to get those off the internet. We'll have some links on the review as well. But this unit I think is pretty good. It does what it says. It's a very bright light with 160 LED lights. Runs cool, runs for days and days on one of these huge batteries. Great for rechargeable AA batteries or just your standard Duracell or whatever batteries you use. Good to have a battery depletion unit, or a battery indicator, the level indicator there as well. Other than that, that's it. Very simple device. I think it works really well. Like I say, it's super bright, and you can obviously put it comes with an orange diffuser as well. So obviously you can bring your skin tones out with that. So yeah, that's a pretty good device. Very bright and thoroughly recommended. Put that one to one side. This is the larger one. Comes with a bit better packaging. Here we've got, let's get the main unit out. So if we unzip this, you can see there you've got the main light itself, and you can see how much bigger it is than the other one. it's about twice the size. So it's a big unit, and it's quite light as well. It's quite nice. In fact, they're not that dissimilar in weight. It's pretty good. Again, with this one, I'm going to quickly run you through it. It's similar in the functions and features of that, as in it's got the LEDs, but I'm going to show you where the differences lie with this in a second. If we go to the front of the case here, you see all the bits and pieces you get with it. Now, like I said, it doesn't just run on batteries, this one, it will run on a charger as well. So you've got a fairly decent sized lead with the charger that goes into the back here. So you can see this just simply, if I can get it around the right way, goes into the back of the unit like that, and you can then plug it in and it will last for as long as you've got it plugged in. So very, very handy, and it's going to save a lot of money on batteries, save a lot of charging time. So whenever I'm actually using the unit in an environment where I've got electricity, I'll use the AC power lead. Now, the great thing about this lead is when you've got the batteries, now this takes 2 batteries, and this, what I'm about to tell you, only works when you use 2 batteries. Now, it will take smaller batteries, but this one takes 2, and I've got the larger ones here. If I switch that in, it won't run on the right hand side. Let's take it out, put it in the other side, and it won't run, so it's not powered up. You need both batteries to be put in, so that's the only downside with this. You need 2 batteries to make it run. Okay, now that is a downside, because obviously you need to buy double the batteries if you're not going to be using the cord all the time. So a bit of a downside, but the upside is that if you have both batteries in the unit itself, when you plug it in and you use it on the DC mode, then what it will do while it's actually, if you've got the batteries in and the DC unit in, then the unit will be powered by the DC lead, but it will also at the same time charge both batteries. Now that's pretty cool. So you don't have to worry about charging these separately. If you've run out of power in the batteries and you plug the unit in, then you can rest assured that while you're using the electricity to actually power the light, it's also going to charge your batteries at the same time. So by the time you've finished your shoot, your batteries will be charged as well, so you can then go back on location. Okay, so let's unplug that for now. It's pretty similar. Let's have a look at what else you get in the bag. We've got the units there, the DC units. You also get a slightly larger version of this, which is the one we use, the spigot. That goes in there like so, the other way around with the smaller thread. So if we put that in there, then this goes into the base of the unit. Now again, similarly to the smaller unit, you've got a thread on the bottom, on the side, and on the other side as well. So you can have it portrait mode or in landscape mode. Let's put it in landscape mode for this. So that just literally screws into the bottom, and then you put it onto your light stand like that, and then obviously you've got the ability to tilt and bend it in whichever way you need it. So again, it's pretty handy. It's just it comes with the light. Let's take that off. And then you've also got a carry cord for the case. Don't really use that. But again, the batteries don't come with the unit. You need to buy those, and like I said, you need to buy 2. This won't run off AA batteries, so you need these lithium-ion batteries. So have a look on eBay. There's a link on here to link on the actual review itself, where you can actually buy those from. Now, once the batteries are in, you switch the unit on. Again, let's power this all right down and switch it on. So that's now on its lowest setting, and you can see there it's quite a yellowish, amberish light, quite a warm light. Now on the back you can see you've got 2 controls. The top control is to change the white balance, so it goes from 3200 Kelvin up to 5500 Kelvin, which is like daylight. 3200 is a much warmer kind of light for skin tones and things like that. The bottom dial is for your minimum and maximum output. And then, like I say, you've got the on-off button and the DC in 18-volt cable there. And you've also got a battery charge there. So if I was charging the battery, this would be flashing up and down just to show you that the batteries are charging. But as we're full at the moment, you can see we've got full power there. So it's pretty good. Now that's everything on the back, and you can also see there we're on 32 Kelvin at the moment. So if we were to increase the Kelvin, I'll show you on the back first. You can see it goes up, 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 up to 55 Kelvin. So you can see that there, I think, on the camera. And if we put it back down again, goes back down to 32 or 3200. Now if I show you this on this screen, we're currently on 32K, and as I go up, you can see it changing from the amber light to more daylight style light. Okay, and then put it back down to the amber, which is better for skin tones. Now while I'm on that setting, I'm going to put the power up again to show you how bright this is. So once again, if you're susceptible to headaches, look away now. So I'm going to turn it up. We're going up. It gives you the percentage reading on the back. I'll show you that. Actually, I'll show you this on this camera first. You can see the percentage as we go up. We're going from 12, 13, and we just raise that up to 99%. So there we go. Okay, so you've got a handy LED on the back, so let's bring it back down again. Show you on this camera. We'll actually raise it right up again. So we're on 10%, 11, 20, 30, see it getting brighter, up to 99%. So you can see exactly how bright that is. It's incredibly bright, and that's on the lower color temperature as well. So if we change the color temperature, so we're going from 32 Kelvin or 3200 Kelvin, we're going to go right up to 55, and you can see the light changing to more of a daylight blue kind of bright color. Let's do that on my face. So it goes from daylight down to 3200 Kelvin, which is better for skin tones. So let's just bring that right down. I can't really see my screen on the camera from there. So you can see how the light works. Let's bring it down a bit and then change the temperatures. So it's gone from daylight down to a much warmer skin tone, and you can obviously go anywhere in between to get the look you want for the skin tones that you want, and then obviously adjust the brightness depending on what aperture you're using and what sort of environment you're in. So that's pretty good. I like that light. It's you feel like you've really got some proper lighting when you've got this. When you're on stand, it's great. It throws out some serious power. So you know, depending on what sort of lighting setup you've got, you can either get a couple of these to when you're interviewing someone as maybe a backlight and a key light and a fill-in light. You can get 2 or 3 of those, or maybe 2 of these as your main lights, and then the smaller one for your fill-in light or backlighting, that kind of thing. But I like these. I think they're really good, and I've used them a lot for interviews so far and for you know, filming people, and I think they just work really well. Once you've got the batteries, they last forever. You know, like I say, you can charge them as you're using the AC adapter. So yeah, really nothing bad to say about this. You know, again, you've got the diffuser on the front. Now to get that out, you have to lift it up slightly from either corner and then just pull it through, and you can see all the LED lights there. You can see those on this camera. So let's turn it on again. So you can see all the lights there, and as the temperature changes, you can see how each light works. There's not actually, let's bring that right in. So you can see it's not the colour of the bulb changing, it's just the bulbs dimming and brightening next to each other. They're all kind of laid out next to each other, so you don't actually get double the light if you power everything up. You actually halve the light when you're changing the color temperature. So you know, it's a bright light when everything's lit up, but if you go to full 3200 Kelvin, then you're halving the power of the light really. And similarly, if you go the other way, you're only using the white lights. So even though there's I think, how many was there, I can't remember, 528 lights or whatever, you're only using half for each color. But very good. They do actually make one that isn't adjustable with the Kelvin temperature scale, so then you get a much more powerful light if you need more power. But if you need one that actually changes the color temperature, then this is the way to go. I think it's a great light. I've used it loads in the past, and I think I'll be using it quite a bit in the future. So there you see, that was the Amaran 95 Plus, the AL-H160, the smaller of the 2 lights. Very, very good light. It's great for great portability. It's very small. You know, it's a fantastic product. And then obviously you've got the larger AL-528C, which is where you've got the adjustable color balance, and it's a much bigger diffuser. Runs by batteries, and it runs by the AC power as well. So you know, both of those are pretty good. I totally recommend them. You can see we've got the lights back on again now, so you're seeing how they work compared to just natural light, and see what difference they make for this sort of setup. So like I said, they would work great for this sort of thing if you're doing lots of testimonials of various products, or if you're showing products on a table and you want them lit nicely from both sides using a cool light that doesn't cost a lot of money and they last for a long, long time. I think they're great, and obviously again for interviews, things like that. So check them out. Have a look at the actual longer review on our site. The link will be below this video. and you know, get in touch with Aputure. Go to their site, see what other goodies they've got on there, because there's a lot of gadgets they use that I like. They've got screens, like I said, they've got the portable the viewfinders, they've got loads of lights, loads and loads of gadgets. So check them out. Go to aputure.com, but also have a look at these lights and see what you think. And if you do a lot of this work, then I would totally recommend these lights. They do a great job.